Serial killers who accidentally chose the wrong target. Bro, I've always wondered about this, bro. Like, what if Jeffrey Dahmer in his prime accidentally decided he wanted to go kill Mike Tyson? Like, bro, what would have happened? I know that sounds crazy, but I've always been interested in just seeing what would happen.
The cheetah incident. In 1993, at a club in California, a demon prowled the venue. Unbeknownst to many, the Grim Sleeper, a man who'd ended the lives of 10 women, was...
Dude, how do you even kill 100 different people? Like, bro, with all due respect, killers before early 2000s, they was just doing whatever they wanted to, bro. Killing 100 people without getting caught and still going out for more is crazy.
Searching for his next victim while everybody else was drinking and having fun.
How did he even pull 100 women? He got to look like freaking Marlon. Like, how?
He noticed an African-American girl that seemed annoyed and upset, so he walked over to her to figure out what was wrong. The lady told him that she was invited out to play dominoes, but everybody there kept offering her drinks and telling her to club when she wasn't a drinker. It was extremely late, and she was tired and wanted to go home.
Okay.
The Grim Sleeper pointed to his vehicle outside. He told her that he has a car, and if she really wanted to go home that badly, he could just take her. Delighted, the woman sprung out of her seat and followed the dangerous criminal back to his car.
Okay, that's not even... I want to say what she did is dumb, because look, who's going to have in their mind that they're going to meet a serial killer and he's going to approach them and tell them to get in their car? Like, bro, nobody's thinking that. But at the same time, though, bro, when we were kids, we were literally taught stranger danger. Come on, bro.
She got in first, and he shut her door like a gentleman. Then he got into the driver's seat and began taking her to her house. After a while, she told him to make a right turn to her house, but he ignored her. Confused, she repeated herself. You're supposed to make a right over there, not a left. Realizing the criminal was no longer responding, the lady quickly went to open the door to get out of the car, but it was then that she finally realized that the door didn't have a handle on the inside.
Oh, hell no. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. If I'm her in this situation, and I know this might sound crazy, but I always had it in my mind like, bro, what if you're getting kidnapped? The person that's driving you ain't responding. You already in a dire situation, but what would happen if you just said, fuck it, bro? And you just crash out on the driver. Like, you like, oh, you're not gonna open this door? You just start wailing on me. You just boom, 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 boom. What would happen? Like, he would have to let you out, bro. He would have to let you out. That's my method if I ever got caught in a situation like that. Obviously, I'm just saying, like,
She was trapped in the car. Becoming filled with joy, the monster finally revealed his intentions to the woman. And as you could probably guess, they were horrible and evil. But there was only one problem.
Like, did he just say it to her randomly? Like, yeah, when we get back to my crib, I'm going to chop you into a lot of pieces. You're probably going to be kill number 102. Like, what did he say to her?
Problem with his plan. The woman he was talking to wasn't any ordinary person. The Grim Sleeper had accidentally trapped himself inside a car with the cheetah, also known as the most dangerous woman in the world, a title that would be given to her just 1 year later as accidentally trapped himself inside a car with the cheetah.
Bro, this prime me, bro. She looks serious as hell. Like, she just...
as she the most dangerous woman in the world, a title that would be given to her just 1 year later as she'd go on to win the 1994 kickboxing championship. When she was young, she was ruthlessly bullied and chased around the town. Her uncle was a martial arts master, and unknown to the Grim Sleeper, her uncle forced her to fight him every single day in order to get her black belt.
What type of Karate Kid junk is going on, bro?
At the end of the day, whenever she finished practicing with her colleagues and got ready to leave, her uncle, also known as Master Quiet Storm, would lock the door.
Master Quiet Storm. All right, bro. Yo, nah, this got to be some type of fiction, bro. What the fuck? Bro, this sound like Jujutsu Kaisen, bro. What? There's just no way real people had these names and this entire story happened to somebody. I just don't believe it, bro. I'm sorry, I don't.
Or with a key. And if she wanted to exit the dojo, she'd have to beat him in combat and forcefully pry the keys out of his hands.
Like, what?
She did this every single day as a kid. As the criminal asked her to comply with his sick demands, she told him no. As you could guess, this angered the psychopath, so he swung at her with his full might. But immediately she blocked his punch.
Oh, hell no,
with a
bro.
devastating counterpunch, striking him straight in his face. Oh, so you're a fighting type, he said as he smiled. The woman quickly jumped into the back seat of the van, and he followed after her, which would go on to prove to be his worst mistake.
Bro. Oh, hell no.
Once he was trapped in the trunk of the van.
Wait, this Wait, he had a van? What? All right, bro. Maybe she was tweaking. Bro, I thought he had that little car. This mother had a van. They probably had free candy written on the side of it. He's just kidnapping women. What?
Which would go on to prove to be his worst mistake. Once he was trapped in the trunk of the van with the professional champion kickboxer, she unleashed a hellish attack on him. He tried to tackle her, but she grabbed his shirt and swung him around in the trunk of the van, smashing his head against the inside of the vehicle. She then flipped his shirt over his head while unloading a flurry of non-stop punches to his face, causing him to fall backwards on his butt. At this point, the girl noticed that his pants were unbuckled and falling down, so while they were still in the trunk, she stomped on his chest and grabbed his, and pulled them so high that she thought she ripped them off of him.
Yo!
The grim sleeper shrieked like a banshee and began crying out in pain. He quickly gave her the keys to unlock the van and escape.
Oh,
but
call your mama.
While still pulling his royal jewels, she told him, "When I say no, it means no," before delivering a nasty right hook to the crying man, nearly knocking him out. She took the keys, unlocked the trunk of the van, and quickly escaped while throwing the keys away so that he couldn't follow her. Freddie Gibbs would go on to win her first championship after that year, officially titling her as the most dangerous woman alive.
Man, she the GOAT, bro.
And years later,
Freddie Gibbs is the GOAT.
Would later be caught and arrested in
Of course he looks like this, bro. Wait, why he low-key look like me? Hey, yo, stop looking at me like that.
Because of an eaten pizza crust he left at a crime scene.
Wait, he wasn't caught into 2000. Wait, dude, he wasn't caught until 2010?
In 2010, because of an eaten pizza crust he left at a crime scene.
Oh, hell no, bro. He was going crazy. From 94 to 2010, he was just out there. But I ain't gonna lie, that entire, bro. But I'm not gonna lie, that entire thing is like hilarious to me. Y'all know that one TikTok sound that's like, if you ever see me locked in a room with a grizzly bear, help the bear. Like, he genuinely just locked himself in a room with a grizzly bear. Like, that's not no ordinary woman, boy. That's Superwoman right there.
When a bitch says no, she means no. And I walked in, bam! Then I left.
The Night Stalker. In the summer of 1985, the city of Los Angeles became gripped by fear. Night after night, a mysterious intruder slipped silently into homes across Southern California. He struck in darkness, often entering through unlocked doors or open windows while families slept, and he did the absolute unthinkable to his targets. If there was a man in the house he broke into, he would immediately just end them, then he would attack and assault the man's family, often carving evil imagery into women and anybody else in the house, and then he would stab them until they perished. The victims described him as a thin, satanic man that had wild eyes and reeked of sweat and cigarettes.
Oh my
Police
goodness.
didn't know his name yet, but the media soon gave him one. The Night Stalker.
Bro, y'all gotta stop giving these killers cool names, bro. Dog, if I was a killer and you gave me a cool name, I would literally feel entitled just to catch more and more bodies, bro. The Night Stalker? Like, bro, that is so tough.
This individual had 15 victims tied to his name. He, by all means, was a top priority to officers in the nearby counties.
Oh, hell no.
On August 31st, 1985, he casually strolled into a nearby convenience store to pick up a beverage because he was thirsty. And right next to the drink he was grabbing, he noticed a rack of newspapers that all had a wanted poster of his face on it. He immediately panicked and darted out of the doors looking for an individual to target and carjack so that he could leave the area. The criminal jumped into the car of a 28-year-old woman named Angelina. Without wasting a second, he began to punch her in the stomach and forcefully steal her car from her. What the Night Stalker failed to notice is that her neighbor was nearby watching it happen, and he also had huge balls. As the neighbor ran over to help Angelina, the Night Stalker told him to stay back and warned him that he had a gun. The 50-year-old neighbor called his bluff and ripped the scumbag right out of the car.
Damn!
And it was at this point that this man had realized that he'd chosen the absolute worst neighborhood to do a carjacking in.
What you mean?
He instantly found himself surrounded by a huge, angry mob. Everybody in the neighborhood knew who he was. They knew all of his crimes. And worst of all, they weren't police officers. So their idea of justice wasn't jail, it was death.
Oh,
a crowd of people
damn!
Viciously. Angelina's husband ripped a steel rod out of a metal fence and began smashing his head with it, while
God damn!
Another neighbor attacked him with a makeshift spear made out of barbecue equipment.
Alright, bro. Like, bro, there's just no way any of this genuinely happened. Like, bro, a talk head, bro, I'll mess with your videos, but bro, you gotta be lying. This dude, you telling me in Los Angeles, California, this dude pulled up to an angry mob, beating a guy, till his lights went out with a spear. With a spear, yo, who that? Yo, I gotta go to the back of your head. Name one person you know in your life that has a spear. You can't name anybody. There's no way this happened. There's literally just no way.
Multiple people grabbed and tugged at him from different directions, beating him senselessly with anything they
There's
could
no
find.
way, son.
They beat him so bad that when police showed up, he began crying out, "I did it! It's me!" begging them to arrest him. Reports state that once he was arrested, he began speaking Spanish to himself, saying, "Thank goodness the police came and arrested me. I'm so lucky."
What?
When he was taken
Is that him?
Thank goodness the police came and arrested me.
Bro, this dude look like Marlon. What?
I'm so lucky. When he was taken to the police station, a crowd of 500 people surrounded the building chanting, "Kill him," in unison.
Oh,
He
yeah.
would go on to receive 19 death sentences. However, he would pass away from cancer at 53 years old in 2013.
Ain't that something?
Honestly, if I was the cop tasked with arresting him that day, I probably would have just driven around in circles and pretended like I couldn't find him so that he could spend some more time with the crowd of victims he had been terrorizing for the past year.
Oh, he was
crash hour.
only going to that neighborhood? Wow.
While most either don't know or just don't believe it, this man is a serial killer. Allegedly. He grew up in the Parkway
Bruh.
Gardens, an area
Yeah. Y'all know, bro. I low-key want to live in Chicago, bro. I don't know if I can even say anything about this, bro.
that would later
Rest in peace, King Von, bro. He was an angel, man.
on become named O Block, which is named after his close friend and mentor, OD, when he was murdered. A little later, Pontoon, another one of his friends, would pass away in the same way. And, I should probably mention that his father was also murdered when he was but he still had a
Dang.
brother-like figure that he kept around as a close friend. White, except not really, because in 2012, White would pass away on Von's 18th birthday, right in front of him at a gas station.
Bro, his life was ass. Sweet baby Jesus. Everybody in his, no wonder he turned out to be such a villain. I mean, outstanding citizen, bro. It's like he ain't have no other choice.
It's important to note that it was this specific traumatic incident that caused him to become a serial killer, as after this moment, he would later on be
Yo,
connected to
why they
over
give him
10 or
red
11
eyes?
murders throughout his life, whilst also taking deep, nearly sociopathic pleasure in the lives he ended and putting it into his songs. Allegedly, of course. Nonetheless, he really did what he rapped about in his music, which is what caused him to develop contempt for another popular up-and-coming artist in his industry, Young Boy. Von took a lot of pride in the
What?
crimes he committed, especially since it was what eventually made him become popular and successful.
Yo.
Young Boy, in a lot of ways, is similar to Von, but Von didn't believe that he actually did any of the things he rapped about. So for him to see
Why?
another artist getting more virality than him, when he believed he was a fraud, quietly upset him.
Yo, bro. What? You telling me he got mad at Young Boy for lying about catching bodies? Like he was that mad he crashed out over it? Nah, bro, this dude's, yo, he's a real demon, bro. He's a real demon. I'm not gonna lie, you got it, bro.
And so, completely unprovoked, he'd go on to publicly say that Young Boy lies in his music online.
You got cap in your raps.
You got cap in your raps. This would start a pretty petty back and forth between the two young men. Von would begin flirting with the mother of Young Boy's kids. Young Boy would flirt with Von's ex, then they sent disses at each other, and blah blah blah. You get the gist. Despite the clear animosity between the two individuals, Von would go on to say that there was no bad blood between him and Young Boy at all, which would later on prove to be obviously untrue. On November 5th, 2020, he would get up, hop into his bulletproof Hellcat, and head out to a club to perform his show.
Bulletproof Hellcat. This dude, he might be the hoodest person of all time, bro. He was literally living like GTA in real
along
life.
with 8 other cars that were guarding
I'm
and
talking
following
about.
him.
God, damn, I'm surprised it wasn't
Club,
black.
Despite everything seeming normal and fun at first, people close to Davon noticed that he seemed off. The man frequently mentioned paranoia and feeling like the spirits of the lives he ended were always watching him.
All right, bro. All
Many
right.
people said he could switch from being calm, collected, and silly to seeming very off or sociopathic. A lot of people generally started to believe that he might have had a literal demon living inside of him, or something seriously wrong with his head. And it was noted that he was allegedly given inside information that one of Young Boy's friends was at a nearby club that was extremely close to him. This friend's name is Quando Rondo. After he finished performing at his show, he and his entourage got up, went inside of their cars, and headed back home to call it a day. However, suddenly, the security guards noticed that Von's car had gone missing. He made a detour to the club that Quando Rondo was at, and waited patiently. His entourage later on showed up and found Vaughn. After regrouping with him, they put all of their weapons away inside of the car and got ready to head inside of the club. But it was at this moment that one of Vaughn's associates located the person he was looking for. As Quando Rondo was leaving the club, Vaughn bumped into him head-on and began to beat him ruthlessly.
Oh, come on,
The man was
bro.
terrified, later stating that he didn't even know who was fighting him. But once he realized it was Vaughn, it felt like the devil or...
Yo! Bro, I ain't gonna lie. A talking hat, his videos is actually becoming comedy. Why the heck is he standing over him like this, bro?
That he didn't even know who was fighting him.
There's just no way.
But once he realized it was Vaughn, it felt like the devil or a demon was attacking him.
It's like I had an out-of-body experience. Like it's like the devil was coming.
He really said this?
It's like my soul.
There's just
Like I can't even explain it, man.
Vaughn was doing what he loved, and the man he was attacking was
Alright,
likely
bro.
going to become
Fairs.
another
A
victim
talking hat,
that
bro.
he rapped about
Fairs.
in his song. But there was just one slight mistake he made. He assumed that his target was alone, and was so laser-focused on attacking his target that he failed to realize that just 2 feet away, a random white car was full of Quando's crew, all of whom were armed.
oh my
And when
god.
they saw their friend being attacked by Vaughn, they didn't hesitate to shoot him 4 times. Even after getting injured, Vaughn continued wrestling and attacking Quando until the two were eventually broken up by their crews. Undercover police officers ran to the scene and began calling backup. The man had 4 holes in his body, and blood was leaking everywhere inside of the car, panicking his team and friends.
Damn.
Nonetheless, he was still alive and conscious. He'd even go on to tell his friends to calm down because he was fine. While he was successfully
That
delivered to the
adrenaline must have
hospital,
been
during surgery,
crazy. Dude, that adrenaline must have been crazy for him to get shot 4 times and say he's fine, he's chilling, just throwing a thumbs up. Because at this point, I believe everything a talking hat saying, bro. I called cap on him 2 times. He showed proof. We taking his videos as facts from now on.
down because he was fine. While he was successfully delivered to the hospital, during surgery he'd suddenly shoot up awake in cold sweats. He'd throw the nurses and medical staff who were operating on his body off of him, and then began swinging at them.
And Vaughn made it through 2 surgeries. He had 3 surgeries ago. He made it through 2 surgeries. And then after his 2nd surgery, he hopped off the bed and started fighting the nurse and said, "Where his gun at?"
In a state of
All right, bro. Nah, you got it, gang. You got it. There's just, I'm talking about, yo, he might have actually been possessed by a demon. He might have genuinely had a demon living inside of him, bro. There's no way. Dude woke up after being shot, pushed the people who was trying to save him away, and then said, "Where my gun at?" There's no word to describe this tomfoolery, bro. I can't think of anything.
complete shock and panic, he began searching for his gun on the surgery table, but then froze. And suddenly, as he woke up, he collapsed from shock, marking his end. To think this
Damn.
situation all stemmed from about 5 or 6 words is insane. He's got pretty good music though. The spoon incident.
All right, bro. Nightmare fuel. Oh,
A newbie
Lord.
walked into the prison earlier that week, and seeing that he was fresh meat, an atrocious criminal named William Roberts decided it was time to assert some dominance over him, since he seemed like the perfect target. It's unclear exactly what sick intentions William had in mind for the man when he approached him, but what is known is that when the two interacted, the monster began to boast and brag about the most heinous crimes he had committed in an attempt to put fear into the heart of the man and make him yield to his requests.
Like, bro, is prison literally just high school? Like, that's something we would do in high school, bro. Bro, back in the day, people would literally brag about the stupidest junk. Like, oh my God, me and Whitney literally hung out the other day and she was in my bedroom. Like, bro, I'm so cool, y'all. I pull more girls than all of y'all. Like, it's just the stupidest junk of all time, bro. Like, no one cares. No one cares.
He walked up to the man's seat where he was eating, then he set down his food tray and began eating beside him. "What are you in prison for?" he said. "Because I'll let you know that I'm practically allowed to do anything I want. I'm in prison for having my way with a 4-year-old. And look, I'm still here. So what about you? Are you here for car theft,
Say
insurance
what?
fraud, reckless driving?" After sitting and listening to William's monologue, the man calmly responded to his questions. "I'm a serial killer. I'm in here because I ended a man that was bragging to me about the horrible things he had done to multiple kids. I strangled him so hard that emergency responders said his face became blue like a pair of jeans because I hate
Goddamn.
predators. They thought I was crazy, so they sent me to a mental hospital where I bumped into another person who did the same horrible thing to kids. And so I ended him too. And now they've sent me to this prison, and just like deja vu, I have another predator telling me the same thing. I just ended
Had to be scared, bro. I know when he was hearing them say this, he had to have literally pooped his pants. I'm talking about crap just all over the floor.
Ended the life of another prisoner 2 hours ago. I hid his body under my bed, and I hoped I wouldn't need to do the same. Life of another. Like deja vu, I have another predator telling me the same thing. I just ended the life of another prisoner 2 hours ago. I hid his body under my bed, and I hoped I wouldn't need to do the same thing to another person for a while, but I guess I was wrong. William Roberts just happened to choose the absolute worst person to brag to about his crimes. He was talking to Robert Maudsley, a serial killer specifically known for only targeting predators. And in the blink of an eye, Maudsley grabbed the spoon off of his food tray and jammed it into William's face. He screamed horrifically, but Maudsley didn't stop there. He ruthlessly beat and continued to carve away at the man's face with his spoon. He stabbed him over and over again, and somehow nobody in the prison noticed what was happening at all. William screamed and pleaded for help until he couldn't anymore. After Maudsley was finished, he calmly walked over to a prison guard and told them that 2 prisoners would be missing from the roll call today. Extremely concerned with that ominous statement, the guards ran into Maudsley's prison cell and found the body of William and another prisoner.
Oh no, bro.
William's face was
That dude is a
unrecognizable, but
demon.
most horrifyingly of all, his brains were carved out of his skull with a spoon sticking out of it. The prison guards immediately believed that Maudsley must have cannibalized the man's brains, but he calmly denied the accusation and said something around the lines of, "No, I wouldn't do that, nor would I lie about it." The man would later on be placed inside of a glass box where he would go on to spend the rest of his life in solitary confinement. Most people in life are amazing to be around, but every once in a while there is a chance that you could bump into a psychopath, so always take precautions and always be prepared so that you too don't end up as a victim. Have a happy day.
Yo, bro, it's been so long since I watched a talking hat video, and oh my gosh, y'all, I literally miss this guy so much. His videos are the biggest bangers on all of YouTube. I don't care. Anyways though, man, if y'all did enjoy that video, I will see y'all in the next one. If you want to watch more videos similar to this one, click over here. Peace.